Welcome to That's So Vegas TV. I'm your host, Christine McKellar. I'm here in the fabulous Las Vegas Arts District, downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. And I have a stranger here in my studio.
Look out, look out.
And you're from New Zealand,
I'm
which is
about as strange as you could possibly get, really,
we
from New
love
Zealand.
every bit of it. I mean, for your fans looking at you right now, they wouldn't recognize anything but those fabulous
These eyes,
of yours.
yeah,
Yes.
look out.
Because sitting here in my
Slowly.
studio with me is none
Right.
other than Tape Face.
I'm tape free.
Tape Face boy.
Tape free, yeah. I can
And
chat.
you're tape free.
Because if I was tape face now, it would be an awkward interview.
It might be, but we could, maybe
We'd make it work.
find a teddy bear or something.
We'd find a way to make it.
I know you could, but you mime so well.
Oh, thank you.
I gotta admit, when I first got the press release and I was invited to view your show, I went, Tape Face? Well, what, how, when, where, and for whatever.
Yeah.
So walking into the show, a lot of us were going, well, how's this going to play? How's this going to, what's going to happen here? It was fabulous.
Thank you
It
very much.
was funny, it's fresh, and you're so expressive. So where'd the tape come from?
The tape came about because I used to do another show where I talk too much. You'll probably notice very soon that I would talk a lot. So I used to do, I started out when I was about 12 years old with a magic set. I think every kid gets a magic set at one point. So I did magic. I ended up in my small town of New Zealand. I stalked my local clown. So this was before Facebook. It was
You
pretty
had a
hard.
local clown?
We had a local clown in our
Whoa.
town. So he was the one clown. So I found out where he lived. I went to his house and I knocked on his door and I essentially auditioned myself on his doorstep. So that was at the age of 12 and he took me on for 4 years. He taught me various clowning sketches and stuff like that. And he also taught me how to juggle. So juggling became my really big important thing. I ended up actually dropping out of school to juggle. My parents were very understanding. So they
nice.
let me leave high school to become a juggler. And then I ended up moving up to the bigger town Christchurch where I studied at a circus school. And so during my time there I learned more circus sideshow tricks and other stunts and got involved in stand-up comedy and improv. And in 2005 I was lucky enough to win the biggest comedy award in New Zealand. And everyone expected me to keep doing shows where I talked more and did more tricks. And for me, the moment when somebody expects one thing, I like to surprise them by doing something else.
Well, that's interesting. And I have been to New Zealand. It's beautiful. And I've been to Christchurch.
Yes.
I've been to the Buskers Festival.
You might have accidentally seen me busking.
I might have seen you busking, but I was so high on ecstasy, which actually was a vodka drink.
It's a vodka, very popular vodka.
But
Vodka.
somebody could edit that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Would you like to do some ecstasy? I'm going, well, I'm in New Zealand, sure. And then she poured a shot of vodka. It was all good.
It changes everything.
But I followed that with a tattoos fake one.
That's good.
So it was all fake. So
Yeah,
the ecstasy
yeah.
was fake, the tattoo was fake.
So good.
But the Buskers Festival
Buskers
was
Fest is-
enormous. And
Yeah,
what
it's a huge
delight.
one. So that's where I used to do my old show. My old show was me pushing my buddy through a tennis racket, hammering nails up my nose and eating light bulbs. And
What up your nose?
4-inch nail. I can hammer a
Oh.
4-inch nail at my nose. I used to do another routine where I'd get a lady from the audience to hold a power drill and I can lower my face onto a going power drill. It's pretty disgusting.
That is disgusting, but to
Yeah.
look at you, I mean, you're just very handsome.
Oh,
there
thank you
doesn't
very
seem,
much.
I don't see
Oh,
any
stop it. Nails
gaping
or cavities
holes or
no.
scars.
I aimed when I was doing my freak show acts to look a bit like the boy next door to a degree, doing all this weird stuff. But I did that sort of show for so many years, and then the tape face thing came about because I wanted to challenge myself as a performer. So I thought, well, what's the hardest thing to do? It's like, well, I talk a lot, so let's get rid of that and make limitations on it. So then tape face came about.
And did you just pick up a roll of tape, or what? It must have hurt at
Well,
first.
no, it wasn't too bad. So the
Excuse me, did I just say that to the guy who pounded nails?
Yeah,
and
true.
was
That's the thing. I can eat a light bulb. That's nothing. So the first time I actually developed the silent character, I didn't have tape on my face. It was just a weird little mime character that I developed, and I went out on stage at the Classic Comedy Club in New Zealand. And I lasted maybe about 30 seconds to a minute before I ruined it by talking to the front row because I didn't know what I was doing. I was completely out of my depth. And so I came back the next night and another comedian friend of mine said to me, the only way that you could do a silent act is if you gaffer tape your mouth shut. And it was like, he's right, let's try it out. We put it on and it looked really funny. So I went, oh, let's go do it. And it was originally it was only a 5-minute joke. That was the thing. It was a bit of an in-joke for my other comedy friends of going, I'm doing a silent character. And so I did like a 5-minute sketch, and then I developed 10 minutes of material, and slowly I found myself doing less nails up my nose and more tape-face stuff, and
Are you
just took
happy?
over. I'm over the moon about it. It's
bet you
great.
are.
How to grow old gracefully. So
But they do
nobody
refer-
wants to see this
for the rest of your life.
No.
But they do refer to you as Tape Face Boy.
They do. That's because I originally, the show was first called The Boy with Tape on His Face, which I actually took the name. It was a reference to a Tim Burton poem. So he wrote a poem, a series of poems, and one of the poems was called The Boy with Nails in His Eyes.
Oh, whoa, that was a
Ooh.
big no-no.
Uh-oh.
Fire the host.
That's okay.
That's
Good.
okay.
That's my agent calling.
It could be.
Um,
Or
but-
somebody's going, don't talk about ecstasy.
Don't
and
do that. Yeah, you're
tattoos
out.
on
That's
the
the police.
show.
That's the police.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the original character was called The Boy with Tape on His Face. And so this poem was called The Boy with Nails in His Eyes. And so I know it's a crazy little short poem, but I was a big Tim Burton fan, so I thought I'd reference that. And what I found was as I was going on and getting a little bit older, I realized I couldn't be a boy forever. So we actually changed it to Tape Face. And also the other reason was I'd started doing a lot more touring around the world. And we were doing some shows in South Korea. And we, when you translate The Boy with Tape on His Face into Korean, it doesn't translate very well. So that's why we went for Tape Face. It had a very nice, simple worldwide branding. And we ended up having to stick with Tape Face Boy because I'd already built my following on Twitter and Instagram under that name anyway.
And you know what's really interesting is without those eyes of yours, how could you do it? I mean, not everybody has those
They're
beautiful.
pretty big eyes.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, thank
I
you
mean,
very much.
I wish the camera could do justice. They're
It's pretty
hazel
good. I don't know.
and
what colour
large,
they are.
and
but the moment you put tape on as well, it sort
It
of
just
highlights
pops up,
everything as well.
but
And then the makeup does the added touch
you're
as well.
good though with your eyes
No,
because
thank you
again,
very
we were at the media party and there they are, the
Yeah.
eyes from the stage plus everything else.
Yeah, everyone
You're
can see.
juggling. You're bringing people in from the audience.
Yeah,
you know, you
and
have the
audience
balloon thing
interaction is
going on
always
and-
fun. I'm a big fan of, and also it's changing that what people believe of audience interaction, where somebody's going to get up on stage and be embarrassed. It's like there's none of that. For me, it's about
Right.
celebrating. I want
Right.
to celebrate the audience on stage.
Yeah, so many people I was sitting by were just praying you wouldn't
Oh,
pick
absolutely.
on them.
They're
You
on
can
the
tell though, can't you?
Yeah, I don't, because the thing I also don't want to have somebody up on stage who doesn't want to be there, and that's
Right.
the other thing. You can always say no, because I'm totally fine with that. If you come to
Right.
the show, you can say
You're not gonna hit them over the head.
Yeah, no, you've got to come on stage.
Drag them by their nose
Yeah,
ring
there's
or
no
something.
bullying like that. So it's like, come on if you want to. But most people who come to the show actually want to be involved and play along.
Well,
So I
you're
really love
very
that.
playful. That's another thing. It
Plays,
is like,
it's important. It's really fun
Yeah.
to remind people what it was like playing as kids.
and your whole body language is so different than from what you just walking into the studio. You really, I can see you're going into this definite persona. The little boy thing, you're a little bit pigeon-toed.
Oh
there.
yeah,
Is
he's a
that
real
on
way
purpose?
low status.
And
And then the other one about the character is that he's the only one who knows what's going on, and he can't tell anyone. So that's the thing. So it's like, well, we've got to work this out. So make it fun.
And it does come across like that. Plus, you have some great music, which is interesting. We have to take a break here in just about 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Got to shout out to
Music,
the
yeah.
sponsor. You know how that
Music
goes.
is important, though.
Yeah.
Music.
We're going to talk about that. It is very important. And also, do they have Red Roof Inns in New
what?
Zealand? Do they have Red Roof Inns in New
Red
Zealand?
Roof Inns, no.
They're
You'll
like
have to
a-
explain that.
Well, it'd be like a bed and breakfast, I guess.
Oh, yep,
They're
yep.
my sponsor.
Okay.
They're across from the Hard Rock.
All right.
Pet friendly.
Go visit.
Well, I'm saying anytime. They have free Wi-Fi and continental breakfast for guests, and again, they're pet friendly. I love them. They keep me on the air.
Cool.
Don't go away, Christine. I'll be right back with Tape Face. Well, hey there. Welcome to That's So Vegas. This is our new studio in the famous Las Vegas Arts District, downtown Las Vegas. We're here to rock your world. And I was going to ask you how it felt to be breaking good here at the Bellagio for the National
I saw
Center.
what you did.
Your last CD was My Secret Life. I wanted to ask you what your secrets were. Tune in and turn on with us in downtown Las Vegas. This is where the action is, and that's So Vegas. Welcome back to That's So Vegas. I'm Christina. I'm here with none other than Tape Face.
Still here.
Oh, I
Still
know
talking.
it. And it's just a treat because I had no idea what you looked like without the
I
tape
know,
on your
yeah,
face.
I sort of hide out a wee bit.
I was pleasantly surprised. How's that?
And I'll
You
take
know,
that.
Things could have been worse,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely, yeah.
Especially now that I know in your past life you were hammering
Having
nails up your
and-
nose
yeah,
and all
eating,
kinds
eating
of...
light bulbs and
Eating light
walking on
bulbs.
broken glass and all
Oh,
sorts
that's
of disgusting things.
gotta be.
Yeah.
I would like
It's
to know.
behind me now.
But since it is behind you, we'll stick to... But speaking of behind you, just a little bit, like, were you a noisy child or a...
I don't think I was. I think my parents would probably say otherwise. I
You
kind of
quite-
always thought I was a bit of an introvert. Like I'd stuck to my own thing. I realistically came out of my shell properly at around the age of 30. And I think it was only then that I realized, oh, it's okay to be different. Cool, got it.
Oh,
and then I
okay.
also realized that everyone was a bit weird anyway. So it's that thing of going, oh, there is no normal. I think the sooner you figure out that there is no normal, the sooner you can just get on with having fun.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
that's
And then
great.
you've made a career out of having fun.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's one of the things I try and encourage younger fans who are on Facebook and Instagram is the catchphrase for the show is "Stay weird," and it's not so much about being weird and being alternative. It's just that just be yourself. It's a lot easier to be yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So the tape doesn't hinder you at all.
Not in the slightest.
It's
Actually, there is part of me that I do really enjoy the time to be quiet as well on stage. Enjoying that, I get to be quiet for a couple of hours.
Boy, your eyes almost come out of your head,
The eyes
too.
do work double time for the show. Yeah, I think they switch roles. There's a balance of less talking, more eyes. Yeah.
You know, a cool thing that I really liked about your show, and I could tell everybody else did, is your selection of music.
Oh, I think
It's amazing.
Again, it's I've got a very large Spotify playlist, and it's just all the music I use. I tend to use a lot of 80s and 90s music. I don't really use a lot of modern stuff because I like the show. I still want to have a nostalgia feeling for the adults in the audience as well as the families. But it's that music that when you hear it, it's just one of those, like when you hear Ghost, Unchained Melody, it's such a great track. And
it
Tom
is.
You Can Leave Your Hat On. They're instant songs
It's
that you.
one of my
It's
favorites. When you pulled
great.
that one out,
It's
wow.
a good, fun song,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
a good routine. But it's that thing where they're instantly recognizable hits, and there's such a good. I've got a fun collection of music.
It also kind of, like you said, you're bringing out the child or the youthfulness
Yeah.
in people. So if your demo is my age group and a little older or younger,
Oh,
boy,
you'd
that's a
still-
ticket, because that just, it'll bring tears to your
Oh
eyes, some
yeah,
of those
it's good
songs.
fun. And even having some of the volunteers come up on stage, they start off all quiet and meek, and then suddenly they're in front of an audience. I'm off the stage, and they're doing their thing. It's great.
It is great. You never embarrass anybody either. Nobody likes
everyone
to
comes
be...
out of their shell naturally, which is nice.
Yeah, so you do have a special tape, though.
I do have one brand of tape I use. It is a lucky brand. Nashua 357 Matte Black is my brand of choice.
Have you ever thought of doing different colors?
They do a selection, but I've always just stuck with matte black. So the way I used to use just a New Zealand gaffer tape, and I was doing a festival in Australia, and this technician came over to me, and he was like a dodgy drug dealer, and he was like, "Hey, have you ever tried this?" And it was like, "Whoa, this is amazing!" And I put it on, and it was the strongest tape I've ever used in my life.
No.
It's so full on. It's really, really good. So it's if I do too many shows, I do actually end up with quite a red square around my face.
I bet.
And the secret to getting rid of that is the Elizabeth Arden 8-hour cream. Just rebuilds. It's amazing. Wow, perfect stuff.
I'm going to buy some on the way home.
Oh, yeah,
if it
good stuff.
rebuilds. So it does hurt to take it off.
It's not too bad. I've gotten used to it over time, and realistically, if it was hurting too much, I would have stopped doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or found another tape.
I would have found
that-
another tape or some
something
other
that-
situation.
Has anybody ever tried to take your tape off?
I've had a couple of people try and do it, normally very drunk guys on
Oh.
stage, and it's like, okay, come on, off you go. But no, most people leave me to it, which is kind of nice. The weird thing that I have noticed is that when I'm on stage with tape in my face and I get somebody to come up on stage, most people stop talking as well. So they just go, well, there's no point talking to him. So it's kind of nice.
And part of you really should see the show. It's at the Flamingo, and you're coming back again.
Yeah,
so
we're
you've-
back for the month of November now. Yeah,
all back for November. And what are your dark nights or
Monday, Tuesday.
Monday,
Yeah, Monday,
piece of
Tuesday.
cake? Who does anything on Monday
I
or Tuesday
know.
anyway? Except
Watch a movie.
Work, yeah. But when you do get the people up on the stage and you're trying to show them,
Oh, yeah.
some people get it and some people don't.
Sometimes I'm also trying a little bit for them not to get it. I do want them to, I don't want it to be an easy, it has to be an easy ride, but a couple of challenges along the way
I
as well.
see.
So occasionally I try and, I do my own little couple of tricks, but I always make sure that the volunteers will succeed.
And you were on America's Got Talent.
It was good fun on that show.
Tell
I
us a little
loved
bit
it.
about that, because that just seems to me,
That-
weren't you intimidated?
It was a bit terrifying, like that first audition when the Govan Gloves moment. Like I know walking out onto that stage and just you can see it on the TV clip. You see the judges and they're looking at me like,
I
"Oh,
watched
it's one of those acts." And it's like, okay, here we go. But it was really nice being on the show, and I kind of felt a bit like I was maybe the underdog of the season because I was the weirder one of the bunch. And it was really good for me actually to go on the show and not talk at all. That was a really fun thing that I made the agreement with the show.
It was a
It's just like,
clever skit, though, when you did the...
the dress and the bits and the bobs.
That was funny. And I, as a viewer watching TV, I could see where that's where you started to win Simon and them
Oh,
over.
yeah,
That
they got
totally
it.
was and Howie. So did you, I've heard stories, and we've had guests on who have been on America's Got Talent. A lot of our top, headliners here in town, that's where they
Yeah, yeah.
started. So, and that gave you your break,
Oh,
didn't
absolutely.
it?
It boosted my profile massively in America, without a doubt. It
So were
boosted
you
pilot.
approached then after that, or your agent got you hooked up with a flamingo? Or
Well, we were sort of already talking to various Vegas people before America's Got Talent, and I think what happened was that the moment that the show went out, it just boosted it and solidified a lot more for
you
us
know,
anyway.
Terry Fader started
Absolutely,
too.
yeah. And he's
it's
been here
just-
for what?
Oh, I love
years
him.
now.
He's been on the show.
He's
He and
an
his wife
excellent
Angie.
performer.
Yeah, he is. He's just so
And a
talented.
really nice guy.
To boot.
That's the
Yeah, they
joy.
were my neighbors for a little bit
Good
there.
Lord.
Yeah, it was really nice to have them around, you know.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, good people.
And another thing I kind of like is the clean. You know, it's
Yeah,
clean.
absolutely.
You know, there's so many F-bombs that you can
Yeah.
drop hither and yon. And actually at the point where it doesn't even shock me
Yeah,
anymore.
but to
It's like,
be able to do a show that you can bring
would you say
families
that with
to,
tape on your
Yeah,
face?
yeah, I know, that's the thing. I'm sure there's a way. But there's a bit of innuendo in the show, but it's just light enough that the families can still watch it, the adults are still entertained. We've had like bachelor parties come to the show as well as family groups and still have a really good time.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a
'cause
great
you do a
party
special
time.
thing at the end. I guess
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
give it away.
Don't give it away.
No,
It's quite
I
a
don't want to give
big,
anything away.
fun part of the
There's
show.
something special at the beginning. There's a lot going on in the middle, and there's something special at the end.
What a great description of a show.
I know, and it's at the Flamingo. And it's one of my favorite properties. I've lived here for so long,
Yeah.
and I like that showroom.
Oh, yeah,
It's
the
just-
Bugsy Room's got
yes,
a great
it is
history to
great,
it. It's
yes.
really, really
Plus,
lovely.
it's intimate enough. I
Yep.
think for your act, you can't have people watching those fabulous eyes from
No,
the
you don't
football
want to be too
stadium
big. No,
away.
you don't want to be that big.
You know, I
Yeah.
think you picked the right
And
venue.
again, it becomes that thing where it becomes a little private party for everyone. So we all get involved and love it.
Yeah, we're all sucked into it.
Yeah.
It's all in the eyes.
Excellent.
And seeing you here, you have some fabulous tattoos going
Yeah,
on.
I'm covered. I'm going to actually find a tattoo parlor here in Vegas and get a couple more while I'm around.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
So they're just kind of they're a message, a
They
story.
just slowly build up over
I
time.
got a fake one once, but it
of
was
them.
fun while it
They are
lasted.
fun. They
I
are
think I was
fun.
telling you it was the
Southern Cross, yeah.
So I got that in New Zealand, actually.
That's good.
I love your country. It's beautiful.
It's really pretty, I
They
think.
filmed parts of Lord of the
Lord
Rings.
of the Rings, nearly all of it was done there. Yeah,
That's
it was
true, and I can see
incredible.
why. The
Yeah.
fjords, everything was beautiful. I have to take a break because with you, time just is like magic.
The mime talks
and,
too much.
Yeah, or no. Well, just come back. I'll tape my mouth shut, and we'll let you take over
I'll
the
do a
show.
monologue.
That sounds
to
lovely.
camera monologue.
And we'll drag Trixie in here too. I'll be right back. Don't go away. The Red Roof Inn, close to the airport and the Strip. They're my sponsors. I love them, and I'm so happy to have Tape Base here. We'll be back in just a moment.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. If you think about that, I mean, go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on here at St. Jude, and that's beating this thing.
Susan
here.
taped, unmasked,
I'm
and
paid for free.
marvelous.
Mouth to mouth out and talking.
No, I love it though. Seriously, because I was so captured with your show, and then I have you, and I really was kind of wondering what was the mouth behind those eyes. And I have to say, you're quite attractive.
Ah, thank you very much.
And I love New Zealand, and that's
That's
where you're
right.
from. And you know,
Right.
we've had commonalities there. I've been to the Buskers
All right,
Festival.
I'll get you a passport. You do a green card. We're sorted.
Say it.
Done.
But how do you like Vegas? How's
Vegas
it?
is great. I've really developed a soft spot for this town, and it's really, really nice. The people have all been cool. It's been really interesting with seeing the rest of the community, the performing community, all support each other. It's really, really nice.
That's what everybody says, and I've noticed that
Yeah.
because I've known a lot of them for years.
Yeah, so I've gotten to know a couple of the other magicians and other comedians, and yeah, they're just good people. It's really, really nice. And
They come to your show
Yeah, we
and-
all sort of swap shows and share, and then various charity events. We all meet up and help out and do what we can to bring awareness to things. But yeah, it's good.
And you know, I would think even if you did walk in tapeless or untaped, unmasked,
Untaped to
whatever,
free.
untaped.
Yeah, most people do recognise this. I think that's yeah, you can't really hide out.
I
to it.
think it's from here up.
You don't really get a goth in the desert that often.
No.
So-
So when you're not performing at the Flamingo, which happily you're here for the month of November,
Yes.
and I'm sure they'll bring it back. Have you been touring any other parts of America? How do you
we
find our...
just finished a 2-week tour on the east coast. I don't know where we go. This country's too big. East Coast, yeah. It was beautiful. it was all
Boston
Boston.
and-
It's great all over there. But for me, it was also that thing of I wanted to make sure that as well as we're entertaining the Vegas community and people who come to Vegas, I want to make sure that the people around America still get to see my show as well.
Oh,
so we did a
absolutely.
nice little 2-week tour just all over that side just to keep people happy. And we're looking at doing another bigger tour next year, but we're just trying to work out time.
And you know what I always find interesting, and I've had a variety of performers of different nationalities and stuff. Don't you find that the humor's different in different countries, different parts of the
yeah,
the East
yeah, different states and bits and pieces. Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. It changes very subtly. For me, I think I'm lucky because my type of humor is very simple and straightforward. So it is very childlike and naive and playful. So I can get away with doing a similar sort of thing. And if anything, there's sometimes just tiny little cultural references when I'm doing things overseas. I've got one joke which requires 4 letters, O, I, R, and E. And when I was performing that in Korea, again, it's like they don't say O, I, R, E like that. There's a different pronunciation. And even in Germany, they say it very differently. So it means that I have to alter jokes a tiny bit. Yeah.
But you don't have a problem with that.
No, I'm pretty lucky. For me, I've got the tape on, so I don't have to say anything.
But so you choreograph, you write your own.
Yeah, I do
Right.
all my create all my own bits and bobs. In fact, I'm actually writing a new show while I'm here for the month of November. So I'll be performing my show during the nights. And then during the day, I will be discovering the dollar stores around Vegas and
there's
buying
plenty of 'em.
all of the junk I can and just loading up and then turning my room into a
Do
bit
they
of
have
a
dollar
junk.
stores in New Zealand?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
where I pretty much bought the first show from. It's all household objects and everyday things. Because that's the other thing about the show is I want people when they go home to see oven gloves and I want them to try it out and play it themselves.
The oven glove thing is
Yeah,
darling.
it's
It's really
ridiculous.
cute. Yeah, it is ridiculous. And I'm just wondering how far can you expand that repertoire? I mean, I think
Everything can be played with. That's the thing. Everything's a toy, and it's just like using your imagination. I'm a big fan of you. Also, your imagination is a muscle that has to be exercised. It's like you have to keep using it over and over. So it's just playing with everyday objects and.
do you have any
seeing
other
things.
side hobbies, or what do you do to relax?
I play PlayStation. That's my thing. That's when I've got some downtime. I play PlayStation and play games. I like that sort of thing, zoning out. Again, I behave quite a lot like a teenager.
That's well, I love it.
I refuse to grow up. So if you can choose the option, don't do
And
it.
again, that's the clever thing too when you think about the music that you embed in your show, because it does make everybody feel younger. You're
it's
nostalgic.
good.
You're
That's
sitting
nice.
there remembering, the Doors and Three
Ah,
Dog
yeah,
Night
yeah.
and whatever, do you have you been hiking or what do you?
Not yet, mate. I will be doing more of that this time. Last time when I was here doing shows, I just saw as many shows as possible. So I think I kind of ticked that box. I saw as many people doing their thing. But this time around, when I'm here, I want to see more of the local side of things.
Because this
I
is
wanna
the
go
time
out.
of year.
Absolutely.
Did the heat? But were you here in the summer? Did the heat?
No, I'm again Gotham the desert. It's a bit much. I need some sort of fan situation. But yeah, I do want to get out and see more of the going into the wilderness a wee bit more.
Well, a lot's coming up. I know you don't have Halloween in New Zealand, so this is the month of all the.
Yeah,
I got to give a plug.
I'm going to blend in. This is going to be great.
Dude, I am going to give a plug to the Freakling Brothers out. It's off in a shopping center off of the 215 in West Flamingo. It was amazing.
I have to go.
3 haunted houses. I went with my son and my nephew and my son's girlfriend, and we were screaming.
Yeah.
Okay, screaming and running.
I've never
So
done one of these, so I need to go. I need to experience
I'm
this.
going to hook you up.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, 'cause we
I'll
wanna introduce
I'll report
you.
back.
Okay,
I'll report
great.
back. We'll go, why did you send me there? Why did you do that to me?
Yeah, just don't do like I did.
Scarred me for life.
I'm claustrophobic. There was one part, and then there's I just can't even tell you. It's really
Bring back some
fun.
memories. The
Your
trauma.
hair will stand.
Oh, great.
And do put the tape over your mouth because you don't want to scream like a
I'll
girl.
hide that out.
Oh, this has been so much fun,
Thank you very much for having me.
Sam.
It's been
I'm
good.
just a pleasure, and I love your show. And
Thank you very
everybody around me. When
Yeah.
we watched the show, we were all loving it. So
Excellent.
I'll be back to see you.
Cool.
And hopefully we'll have you back.
Yeah,
I'd like
I'll make
you
sure.
to come back after you get your
Yeah.
Vegas groove going on, and
Yeah,
maybe
well,
next year.
Settle in and make it work.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Cool.
Till next week, I'm Christine, and that's So Vegas.